I've never had one go out
Cisco?
on me like that.
Not
Cisco
like
device?
that, no.
Did you feed the cat, Tina? Oh, but she just came up. Could you grab her? Oh, cat, where are you going? Oh, my wife's gonna come.
Leave the cat.
All right, thanks, Tina.
Bye, cat.
Hey.
Bye, cat. Denmark launches children's TV show about a man with
Surely
a giant penis.
does.
I saw that in our Discord. It's disturbing.
They do children's shows differently across the pond.
Are we live?
We're
sorry,
live.
I'm not
We're
paying
live
attention.
right now. With ultra low latency of less than 3 seconds-ish.
That's pretty good.
We are early. And you're early in the chat, Psycho Myco 82. We're almost always late. I figured, hey, since we're all here, let's go live.
Let's kick this pig.
We'll be
just saw your note.
podcasting at 10.
Hopefully.
I just saw your note, Josh. Okay.
What did I...
In the one in the
Oh.
staff channel. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Kevin, it's almost a full 3 seconds, I think. It's not 3 milliseconds, unfortunately. Having like 900 megabits up is still not enough.
It's never enough. Excess is never enough. All right, let me see if I can get to the Google
I'm
Docs.
gonna raise my hand.
All I
1001,
want,
1002.
all I want is just
1003.
CPUs to be available. Is that so much to ask?
It's like four,
Yes,
4
I'm
seconds.
sorry it
away.
is.
Over fiber.
All I want to do is spend more on a graphics card than I should, and can't do that.
And you're not allowed.
And it's not going to change. That's I don't know if you've seen the Bitcoin price today.
Yeah.
The last time I
35?
looked, it was at 37.
37.
It's still rising. It's been rising all day. It started at 34.
I just want my GPU with 3 6-pin power connectors. So much to ask.
3.6?
Asus is reportedly doing some master one that they've added an extra one to.
Oh.
I don't actually believe it, but someone photoshopped up some nice pictures.
Wait, 3 on... Is this on the AMD side or NVIDIA?
NVIDIA.
Okay. That,
It's a 3080 Master.
yeah, I don't think the MSI Supreme has 3. I know the
I
Supreme...
don't think anything does.
The 3090 does, but not the
Oh,
3080.
well, fair.
Thoughts on the 3070? It's a great card. You can't buy it.
Oh, no, it's gigabytes. Sorry. Aorus RTX 3080 Master, 3 8-pins, supposedly.
Yeah, this 3.6 sounded a little odd.
Well, 3 8 sounds pretty odd, too.
It does.
Let's see what our public
Yes.
Discord is saying.
It's
Oh,
fine.
not
yeah,
much.
I'll go back there.
Should I upgrade my ISA video card?
Yes.
No, it's an industry standard.
Yep.
Damn it.
I mean, you could get more performance technically out of a PCI card, but I feel like you lose some compatibility with certain DOS games, depending on the chipset. Those Sing Labs chipsets are really good. You can find those on
ET6000
Yeah, that was a great card.
was.
Great chip. I mean, it was on a lot of cards.
Yeah. STB Lightspeed 128.
Mm.
We're all ready. We've even got a burger of the week and everything.
If he agrees. I don't know. I
Who?
haven't asked him. You.
What?
I
What
went,
about
I
me?
went and got it out of your Twitter feed. I hope it's okay.
Oh, that's fine.
Okay.
I mean, it's
Snatched his burger.
yeah, it's timely.
Good.
It's January 6th. It says it. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna start recording.
You know, I would link up Ted Lasso. That's a really great show. We've been surrounded by crap for so long that I needed to watch something there, you know, where millions of people aren't being killed by asteroids and stuff like that. And
Hard to find
it's a
nowadays.
great film. Yeah. Thank goodness for Plex, huh?
Yeah. I watched
Indeed.
The Two Towers earlier. Or rather, I watched the last hour of the second disc of the extended edition of The Two Towers.
In HDR
Mhm.
and remastered.
Yes.
I haven't ordered mine yet. I was going to wait until later. Actually, I think I may just wait until I get a new TV before I even think about ordering that.
It's so good. It's
So good.
it's so good. Although
Oh, good.
Gollum / Smeagol, he shows his age. He kind of looks like Jar Jar Binks now, where he's
Oh,
not like if they'd used RTX and TLSS, obviously he'd be lifelike, but he always looks kind of dim, and there'll be like bright sunlight shining off of the like Frodo's hair, and then Smeagol will look kind of just like he's in a shadow, and they're both out in the sunlight. All right. Whenever you guys are ready, 6/10. December. It's not December 6th. It's 2021. Got to remember that.
I wrote that down.
Okay, in 3, 2. Hey everybody, welcome back to the PC Perspective Podcast. This is episode 610, being recorded on January 6, 2021. I'm Sebastian Peak.
I'm Jeremy Hellstrom.
I'm Josh Walrath.
I'm Brett Van Spoonberg.
And look, the four of us are back without any fancy borders or anything. The 6-up view. This is kind of a throwback
Podcasters without
episode.
borders.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. It's like I could almost reach through into Brett's
Here's our
room.
Patreon.
We're not actually in the same room, but it looks like it. Because where my wall ends, his curtains begin. Anyway, speaking of Patreon, which I think I heard Josh say, you can support this nonsense by going to patreon.com/PCPer and become a patron of the PC Per Arts. The PC Per Black Arts. Or something. Brett, do we have
Nobody
any
dies,
update
though.
on that?
You know, we do. I'd like to welcome a new patron this week. I'm going to try and read this correctly. I'm not entirely sure. It doesn't seem like I'm saying something bad, but I'm not entirely sure, so I'm just going to go for it. I think that's probably the best course of action here.
It's
It's
a
a
huge
Baza's-
preamble there.
It is. It's Baza's with an apostrophe S. Baza's Sammy Note 2. And I don't understand it, but I did read it. So thank you.
I wonder if this was actually sent by Boz's Samsung Galaxy Note 2. Do you think that's what that means?
You know what? Thank you.
Yeah.
Because I had no way to interpret that. Why he would set his name to that? Maybe he just likes his Galaxy Note 2.
Maybe.
Yeah, when I was bored, I set my Samsung automatic 2 cent for my iPhone.
Ah, that's funny. Very Hollywood of you.
My computer's going to crash here shortly.
Uh-oh. All right. Well, we only got this far, so we might as well
Right.
start over.
Please return your tray table to its upright position.
Yeah,
Hang on,
it's-
everybody.
Serves you
my
right for
Chrome
starting on
decided
time.
My Chrome is, yeah, I've got to restart
Okay.
because it's, I'll be back in, nope, yeah, we're all frozen now.
Yes,
Sweet.
you are. So yeah, thanks, new patron this week. Really appreciate you jumping in and throwing your pound note, because it's in pounds, his pound note into the kitty, and that just keeps
Ooh.
this wheel spinning, this ball rolling, and other euphemisms.
Yes, Josh is stuck.
He is.
But he'll be back. And you know, we could just keep rolling. I can just seamlessly edit past
You can.
that.
The
Talk about his
interesting
burger
part-
while he's away.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll
yeah, you
critique
should
it this
talk about
time.
Mm-hmm.
All right, everybody gets an exclusive first look at the Josh burger we're about to talk about.
You gotta talk about it nice and low.
I usually add some kind of porn music here anyway.
Yeah,
It's
which is a good call.
apparently
I
the
think.
all-American 2 patties, spicy barbecue, smoked Gouda, bacon, and some other things that he can't remember.
Oh, yeah.
With a side of
Looks
those
like
fries that always look nice.
And American cheese and some very well done crispy bacon. Not soft and limp bacon.
No.
Crisp.
How can you tell that it's crisp? I guess it does. It glistens.
Yes. Can't you
Okay.
just look at it? Doesn't it say crispy
You don't
bacon?
have the experience with bacon that we do.
You know, that's a very good point. Do you have any experience with bacon?
Well, their vegan bacon has gotten better.
Okay.
Look, bacon, you have to get the
It's
real
gotten
thing.
better.
I have a lot of experience with bacon. I only stopped eating meat 11 years ago. So before that,
Yeah, see, it's nothing recent.
I had, you know,
You
20.
don't know. You don't know bacon nowadays.
How many years ago was that? 11 years ago, I would have been 28. So yeah, I had 28 years of bacon eating.
You know what? It's funny that, you know, you can't write this stuff into the email that says, I don't know what we're going to talk about this week. Could be bacon. I don't know. Could be anything.
Probably bacon.
But yeah, it should always circle back around to bacon. That's probably a good
Especially
call.
Ayrshire bacon if you can get your hands on it.
How about those fries? Can we get a quick look at those fries again? Because those
they're
those
gorgeous.
looked, oh yeah, like very tasty.
Do you think those are
Not
just
overdone.
very toasty, or are they seasoned? I
I'm
think
not
those
sure
must
that
be
I don't.
seasoned.
I see some seasoning on them, but I just see them deeply done. Not crispy.
I don't see any seasoning on that. A little bit of
Just a
salt.
little bit, but I don't know why it's so dark. It's dark, 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 dark.
It's the Dark Ages.
It was a dark time for Josh Tech. A shadow had fallen over the room.
This is like Lord of the Rings Disc 2.
Just exposure.
Better. There we go. Now it's back.
beautiful.
Back. Oh, no, it's too much.
No, too hot.
No, Josh, it's you've exposed yourself. It's too much.
Oh yeah,
There
we go.
yeah.
How's that?
That's
There,
the
that's
stuff.
better. That's better.
Much better.
I mean, you look a little pale, but I'm guessing that's because you don't have your color.
It's because I'm really pale.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, some people say you should just open up Notepad and a blank one and leave that as your front light. That doesn't work.
No,
so
I
much
have
for
to have
Josh and I.
actually orange. I've done white before, and it makes things really bad.
It's not good.
So, got the COVIDs. I don't, but
I hope not.
All right. I will start over again. I stopped the recording. Let's just start over. We're only a minute in.
Which part? How far back do you want
The
to go?
whole thing. We're just going to start at the beginning.
All right. Let's
5
rock
6
it out
10.
again.
Okay. Recording in 3, 2. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the PC Perspective Podcast. This is episode 610 being recorded on January 6, 2021. I'm Sebastian Peak.
I'm Jeremy Hellstrom.
I'm Josh Walrath, and we had a cutout because things blew up on my end, but I said something really witty, so remember that.
Yes.
I'm Brett Van Spermberg, and nothing exploded here.
Yeah, but live viewers would have seen Josh's pithy commentary, which will be lost to the sands of time. And you can find out when we go live for events such as this podcast recording session by going to pcper.com/subscribe to be put onto our mailing list that literally only tells you, is it plain text or HTML? I think it might even be a plain text email that we're
You know
going
what?
to
There
go
might
live.
be a touch of the HTML to it because I put some links in it and a
Okay.
list, but not a lot.
It's
not a lot.
pretty tame for list
It is.
mail. There's not a bunch of pictures and stuff in it. And
Very few.
you can go to patreon.com/PCPer to support this nonsense if you're so inclined. And Brett, I think we have an update from someone.
You know, we do. We do. I'd like to thank our latest patron this week, and I hope I'm going to get his name quite right because it's a little bit wordy to me. It might make some sense to somebody else here, maybe. What do you think? The name he wrote was Bazas with an apostrophe S, Sammy Note 2. What could that mean?
Well, earlier when we did this before, I suggested it was Samsung Galaxy Note 2. Note
Oh,
users
you
are
know
very loyal to their device. They love that pen.
That's got to be it.
Yeah, they love it.
Well, I've
The
never
occasional
named my-
explosion is just fine.
I've never
Oh, was it
named
the
my
2?
name like from
No,
my
it
phone.
wasn't.
Okay.
It wasn't the 2? Was it the
No.
7?
Yeah, I think so.
It was the 7. Okay. Hey, after our intro every week, we go to Laramie, Wyoming. We visit with our own Josh Walrath, as I bring him up here. Well, you're going to talk about food.
Not really bringing me up here.
Well, your image. I see you. I think everybody else does too.
Right.
Josh, can you walk us through this burger?
I sure can. It's unfortunate when they wrap it up because when they're actually served on a plate at the restaurant, they look a lot better. But they wrap them up in the foil and it gets a little crunched down. But This is the All American burger. It's 2 quarter-pound patties with smoked Gouda, chipotle ketchup, uh, that special kind of mustard, bacon, all on a toasted sesame seed bun. It's really quite tasty. The flavors really complement each other nicely. Not as good as the mushroom burger that was last week. I forget exactly what that was, but that was also fantastic. But this one was right up there, and if you're in the mood for something new, and it's a good one to get. And of course, the fries were perfectly done and lightly seasoned, making for a scrumptious lunch that keeps me filled up for the next 24 hours. Take that, fasting.
I think I owe you $5 on calling the seasoned fries, right? I think we bet that.
Yes.
I don't think we bet money. I refuse to acknowledge
no.
that.
It might not have been a money bet. Crisp or non-crisp bacon? Everybody wants to know.
They're crisp, so it wasn't stringy. But
I made my money
depending
back.
on some people like I like a little bit not as crisp, but it still was quite tasty.
Excellent.
Yes.
Well, let's move right in seamlessly to our first news story of the week. This is going to be kind of a lighter week. It's pre-CES. We're on the eve of CES, which itself starts on the eve of CES because that's when you start having this year it'll be virtual meetings, and we're already getting press releases and stuff in under embargo. So it's all coming. There is a CES. It's just all virtual this year. But before all of that, we're podcasting because it's Wednesday, and there is some news of AMD's new GPU architecture and maybe following that Ryzen path, Jeremy.
Or what NVIDIA is planning on doing with their next generation of chips, reportedly as well.
Yeah.
But bringing sort of a chiplet design makes a hell of a lot of sense. The problem has been that it introduces a stupendous amount of latency until recently, where we've got proper interconnects on the chips, which will allow it to work perfectly well. And especially in the case of AMD, several generations of experience where we've gone from a really fun initial launch, which had its issues, especially with the Threadrippers with only 2 CCXs in it, to what we've got now with the current generation of Ryzen, which doesn't show any of that sort of issue whatsoever. So it's going to be interesting to see if they really do push this, because, among other things, one of the people that was looking at it, that spotted the patent on freepatents.com, did some back of the napkin computation to say that it looks like they'll be able to increase yields by around 10, maybe 11%, because instead of having big monolithic chips on the wafer, you've got a bunch of really small ones, and so you can fit more physically on there. Not to mention the fact that it's not such a great loss when one or two of them don't come out the way you'd want them to. And then the other fun thing about it is that because these guys, the chiplets are going to sort of behave in a way like a field programmable array, so they can be changed for what they're going to do, which is big for the high performance computing that we're seeing with deep learning and AI and the stuff that NVIDIA has just run away with, and AMD hasn't really had much in the way of competition for it. So it'll be interesting to see if this patent, because that's all it is right now, is a patent to say this is the design that we've got, is going to come to fruition in the next generation or two, or more likely 3, and just what that's going to mean to the market and for us. Josh, you got any thoughts on it?
Yeah, chiplets kind of are the future for a variety of applications, and it certainly makes sense. But yeah, your latency is always going to go up when you go into a different interface like this and have to rely on FIFO buffers and whatnot, get the data across, and it just is, it's physics getting in the way. Big wires, long wires, as compared to micrometers in the GPU. And it's we're going to do it. AMD has kind of no one say revolutionized, but they have made it mainstream with a solid chiplet scenario. Not scenario, but oh gosh. How come I can't think of words right now?
Scenario design power.
No, it's not it. I'm thinking more of anyway. Yeah, they're with just how they're doing things overall in terms of what Ryzen has been able to bring to the market and how well they've executed on it and how well it works, even though it is a chiplet. And we have seen in the past, getting two chips together over hypertransport and other type of, kind of not glueless multi, but you know what I mean. That Intel did it with the Pentium 4 GTL Plus bus. I can't remember if that's correct or not. It's been since what, 2004 since we saw that implementation. Yeah. So, GPUs are certainly an area where this would be very beneficial because they're all large die-sized units. These huge monolithic dies that are harder than average to manufacture and to get good yields and bins on. And as we're seeing right now, the whole supply chain on GPUs is jacked. And if they could alleviate some of this by being able to do smaller chips and be able to integrate more on a substrate and still get very, very good performance and scaling, that's a huge win for the industry and for consumers and for AMD. So we'll see if they can actually execute on this.
Sorry, I was just responding to somebody who was demanding to see Burger. We already showed the Burger, but no,
Twice.
I already closed the tab. I'm sorry. You'll have to watch
Twice.
the replay.
No more burger.
Twice, and it really wasn't that hard to gin up the excitement the second time. I want to add, it seemed natural. It was fine.
You never want to eat something the second time.
But it was really fresh. It was like you just dropped it and then picked it up really
It was
fast.
like super fresh.
Unless you're a canine, that's not good enough.
That's
Yeah, let's
some
not talk about
recent
the
painful memories with my German Shepherd about something just like that.
No.
All right. Were we going to talk any more about the patent, or should we move on to some more chip-related rumor / potential new product? That's more than
Let's
just a
even
patent.
look through here. AMD.
Okay,
Are you
we'll
reading the
wait
patent?
while Josh reads the show notes.
Hey,
That's fine.
This is going to be funny.
What?
January 12th, NVIDIA's having an announcement.
Yeah, I saw that.
Games, technology, more.
So you're thinking
Wonder what they're
graphics
announcing.
card? Maybe more
Something else you can't buy?
Well, yeah.
Something else you can't buy. Yeah.
The games part is probably fine because you can buy games.
Yeah, I mean, Steam. I mean, you wouldn't download a car, would you? But I'll download my games from Steam.
that's right.
They'll always give it to me if I give them the greenbacks.
Unless it's an Epic exclusive, then you can't buy it from Steam.
Then no.
Yeah. Then you just don't buy it at all. If you don't like
Wait
Epic.
for it to show up on GOG.
Yeah.
Jordan's forgetting about us. How could he? How dare you?
Oh,
That's the kiss off,
90
isn't it? Like he's
pigtails.
just done with us. How do you forget about us?
Yeah.
It's Wednesday night. We've been doing this for how many years now? Since the Wednesday night thing started on Twit years ago? A decade?
Gosh, it's it's 2007.
Been a long, long time.
I used
I
to
got on
watch
in 2008.
I used to watch this show on Twit on Wednesday nights in 2009, I think is when I started watching this show.
Well, at first it was just every other week, and Ryan had to always call me. Hey, Josh, are you going to join us tonight? I'd run back to my office. You're right there, Ryan. Audio only. Then they sent us webcams, and you've all paid for it dearly.
Well,
It's-
second only to his wife often asking him if he's free on Wednesday to do something.
Yeah, that's... Anyway.
All right. Next
so yeah,
news story.
another hot leak.
Yeah, very hot, potentially. We don't know.
Super hot.
We don't know because
Spicy chip.
I will say, if you have power limits enforced, the current generation of Intel desktop processors are not they're not all that hot. It's just because they all ship on, you're using boards with, we talked about this last week. Let's just get to the story. Intel Core i9 900K, because why not? Why not just add more numbers to the 10,000th place? Or wait, that's the 1,000th place.
Sure.
So yeah, it's going to be a power hungry and hot chip according to WCCF Tech here. And the part that's interesting to me is that I'm seeing it either confirmed or rumored that these are just going to run on Z490. And in fact, people have been testing them and leaking screenshots of them running on Z490 boards.
Yeah, it seems pretty close to confirmed that these newer chips are going to run on Z490. The other interesting thing I got out of this article, which might be obvious in retrospect, is that their IPC appears to be up in comparison clearly to the previous 10th generation, but also equal to or bettering AMD's in single-thread performance based on this article, but still very much losing in multi-core. They're dropping 2 cores. And if you bring up the article again and scroll down to a picture of the 2 chips side by side where they have them outlined, scroll down and take a look there. They're outlined in some color, I don't remember. They're side by side. There they are. So you can see they've actually had to take up more real estate. Correct me if I'm wrong here, Josh, but I think they had to backport their 10th generation microarchitecture to 14 nanometers, and it just physically takes up more room.
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay. So you can see
They had to do
what the
lots
result
and
of that
lots and
is.
lots of different tricks to get that to work.
Yeah. But they were so much after that IPC improvement that their new microarchitecture had given them, and they had to put that on a process that they could actually produce in mass. So they essentially backported that to 14 nanometers, and you get what we have here, which is 2 fewer cores. And that's in case anybody's wondering, why are they 816 again instead of like the 10th generation i9 1020? That's kind of the reason. So they give on one hand IPC improvement, going after single core performance, probably going to be very good in games, but they're a little bit losing out. It's very close. I think there's a comparison discussion in this article against the 5800X. I think they may be a little bit better than that. If you bring it back up and kind of scroll through that, I don't know if they mention it. I think they're a little bit better in I think the Cinebench Pass seem to be a little bit better. Is that a 5800X? 50? That's a 59.
The
Yeah,
59
you'd expect that one to be
What is
better
this?
in
This is,
multi-core.
this is R20. That's right. Okay.
Yeah, our Cinebench R20. Mm-hmm.
So it's a performance
So anyway-
regression in multi because, of course, the
Yeah.
fewer core count. But the single
fewer
core,
cores.
it looks like they're getting their crown back in single thread.
Yeah, that's it too. Yeah, so you can see where their priorities did lie on this.
I assume that means that there will be a focus on gaming performance again. A lot of
You'd
1080p
think,
gaming
yeah.
benchmarks, that sort of thing, to show how. And then, of course, there's the total platform experience thing, which is not insignificant. But yeah, if you're just churning away at rendering something, you're still going to be way better served getting a AMD processor right now. But if we're talking like desktop platform, basic compute tasks, gaming, single thread will make a big difference. So we'll see.
Yep. And certain workloads get more cores, other ones, single thread wins a lot of them. What was the power limit? What was the total power? They sent, I think it was 225 watts or something, or they say
Where?
up to 250. I thought it was just below
this?
right. Just below that. Default loads, Cinebench R20, hovering around 77C.
Oh, I see.
sipping. Did they use the word sipping and 225 watts in the
I
same
think that's
sentence?
sarcasm, but yes.
Oh, okay. All right.
We're going to give him the benefit of sarcasm there.
Before you, the last sentence in there, just
okay.
one more. I know. Intel Rocket Lake CPUs be shipping months after the 500 series boards that will be available January 11th. That was kind of the last little interesting bit there. Months.
Announced
after
at
500
CES, but hard launch planned March, April. That is unfortunate, but you know what?
Yeah, you remember when all the rumors came out that Q1 2021 Intel's and we're like, yeah, that's not going to be until March. No, it's going to be January. It's like,
No, not really.
I'd rather wait and have availability than have it launch and then have absolutely nothing available anywhere outside of like
Well-
2 partner companies.
I think one rumor that I did read was that I don't know whether they're going to be enabling PCIe 4, kind of like the AMD trick, PCIe 4 on 400 series boards like the Z490. That's a question.
But hey, I've got a Z490 Taichi that says it's ready for 11th gen PCIe 4 on the box.
I agree. I agree with you. Now I don't know who the manufacturers are. I don't know who they are, but I have heard that very soon, if not in beta now, are BIOS updates, board updates that is enabling the Z490s will be first. I did read that. Enabling next gen 11th gen Intel on Z490 chipset.
That was nice of them.
Yeah.
If it works.
And that was what that article you just had there was talking about.
Indeed. You know, we are breezing right along. We're only at about the 18-minute mark of our recording here.
It was by special
This
request.
is when we sing the Muppet Show. Moving right along, going a mile a minute.
No, that's pretty
Don't wanna
good.
join it?
We're risking copyright infringement because that impression
That
was so
was-
spot on.
That was so
Aussie
good.
bear.
You should hear my Rainbow Connection. I think you probably have before.
I don't think
so
I
We
have.
have once or twice.
yeah, it's
You should put out an album.
now passe.
Okay. But you know what isn't passe? Moving to... Let's not use that ad break.
Camelot?
Camelot, yes. Conquest of
Camelot.
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 Tis
It's
a
only
silly
a
place. Hey, we have a sponsor this week, so we should pause right here to hear from ExpressVPN.
Thank you, ExpressVPN. And we will later.
And you can, Brett, you can bring us back by saying, and thank you to, well, no, because you're the one doing the ad read, so,
Yeah, it should be you.
okay. Thank you, ExpressVPN, and, well, Brett, for that fine reading. I don't know if it was any good. We haven't heard it yet.
It's going to be great.
We need more energy in the ad reads. We need, like, tight 45-second ad reads with lots of energy. I recommend
Sounds like
Pharmaceutical
something we
Drugs.
do.
Cloud gaming with a Raspberry Pi 4. You know, what can't you do with a Raspberry Pi 4? I don't know if you've seen that little retro console that uses a Raspberry
Yep.
Pi 4 board. Cannot remember the name of it right now. What is this? Something about the Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, I mean, you'd
Yeah.
figure that the Nintendo Switch would have some way of gaming from the cloud. I mean, the whole damn idea of it is it's mobile, right? You'd be
Yeah.
wrong. It doesn't. But thanks to
Psych. You're wrong.
thanks to because Adafruit put out the Trinket MO a while ago, and it's specifically designed to interface with Switch controllers and let you either change how they behave, emulate one, add extra stuff to it, get rid of the issues that some of them develop. And so in this case, he used one of those in combination with a Raspberry Pi that's sort of hooked up to HDMI video capture. They plugged the dock that you get with your Switch in through this Ras Pi. It uses the video encoder to capture it, streams it up to the person who developed this, Stan Dmitriev, works for a company called Surrogate TV, who happened to be a streaming service. So he asked them, is it possible if I could fool around with this? And apparently there's not really a charge for it, but you have to sign up to get a hold of the Surrogate TV dev kit to be able to play with this on your own. And there's talks about that becoming just open over the course of the year. A good way to get people to move to your platform is to give it to them for free and let them play around with it. So what he's figured out is a way to stream from the dock to the capture, up to the Surrogate TV, and out to his controllers. Now, you don't want to be playing Twitch games with this. As you might expect, there's a wee bit of latency, somewhere in the neighborhood of 100 milliseconds. So if you're playing a casual game, it's probably not going to drive you utterly and completely insane. If you're trying to play something that's a little more fast-paced, well, you're going to hate it or yourself very, very quickly. So it's not perfect, but it's a fun little thing to try out.
I like how relaxed titles was mentioned. So if you're not, and really, if you're playing a turn-based strategy game, or
Yeah, turn-based. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, does Pokemon still use turn-based combat in the?
Not a clue.
Okay.
I believe it does. I think I've seen it recently, and I think it does.
Well, that's interesting. What is our next story? As I'm totally unprepared here. Okay, so that was
Well,
actually
the whole
it for
thing is-
regular news. Yeah, Brett, please
Yeah.
introduce
the whole
this section.
thing is bracketed in by forward-looking pieces from or for 2021. Last week we looked backwards about what tech news that we found interesting or particularly nauseating about 2020. So the point of this was to highlight a few stories and maybe a couple of personal insights into what's coming in 2021. Such as this first story that Jeremy wrote up on a new potential. Is this the shooter of 2021? It might be, because 2021 is really only a few days old. So would I go out on a limb and say, yeah, you're probably right. This is the shooter of 2021.
So far, although it's already
Yeah.
pissing people off because it was supposed to be out earlier than, well, now, and then it was delayed until February, and well, now it's been delayed again until April 1st, because why wouldn't you pick any other date than April 1st for your
That's not.
delayed game to come out
not
on?
a good
That's
idea.
not a good idea.
Somebody said this is a brilliant idea and we should go with it, and they did. So there you go. So it looks fun. It's People Can Fly and published by Square Enix, so could be quite interesting. Skip the ad. I thought this was what the game was first.
Yeah.
And said this
I was
is
like, wait, what is this?
not
wait a minute.
interesting. It looks pretty. A lot of pre-rendered stuff, but you're gonna get a
Wait.
free demo on February 25th for anyone, not
Huh.
pre-purchasers, not some sort of closed beta or an open alpha. It's actually going to be a couple of hours long demo. It's a cooperative multiplayer, sort of like Destiny, hence the title. So you can play 1, 2, or 3 people, and 4 different classes with the RPG elements as they get in different powers. And it seems to be a mix of sci-fi run and gun with some interesting some sort of magic powers on it. They're not really telling much about the vehicles, so I don't think there'll be vehicular combat, but there'll probably be a part of the game to get you around. But, from the little bits that they actually managed to bother to show, it looks like it's going to be a pretty one, and it'll be out on everything. So, and you'll be able to crossplay. So if you got a friend with a PlayStation, one with an Xbox, and you with a PC, you'll be able to go for it. So this could be a big one. This is a very popular style of game, and Square Enix tends to know what they're doing when they put things out.
It didn't dawn on me until you said Square Enix, and I was like, standalone, like, demo. I'm thinking of the last the last 3, I think, Final Fantasy games. They've released a standalone benchmark. So I wonder if if they will have one for this, which would be great, because those are, highly customizable. Anybody can
Very
download them for
handy.
free.
Automated.
Automated, so they're consistent. They're always exactly the same. There's no variance, I don't think, in any of them. But
Hey, this looks
interesting.
fun. Looks genre crashing together. I like the look of it.
They typically implement NVIDIA features like Hairworks and that sort of thing. So I wonder if
Yep.
this will be like a DLSS game or not.
Is
It looks
this
busy
like
enough.
Anthem 2.0? Or is it
Yeah, a little bit.
3.0?
I don't know, it looks like it might have character development.
Now.
Did I say that? I didn't say that out loud, did I?
Yeah, if you zip. Well, it's got a skill tree. So
Look,
if that's
I'll let-
character development for you.
All I really care about is Final Fantasy VII Remake, so I need part 2 of that. I know it's not coming. It won't be in 2021. They're still probably in the planning stages. And I'd
And
love to
besides,
see...
if they do, it'll just be the second DVD.
Yeah, exactly. There's going to be like 5, I bet. They'll just keep milking it. I really, really liked the first one, and I want to see it on PC. So I can like crank up the settings and make it look better. Maybe they'll fix some of the texture problems. What else? Oh, you know what? PCIe Gen 4 SSDs. that's something we can look forward to this year. We talked about it last week. You can actually buy storage right now, so you can't. Well, not necessarily. If you have an AMD
You may not be able to
system-
buy a CPU that will run it, but
right.
Right. You can feel good about
But
having
isn't
this
that
on your
Now the
shelf.
3600s and the 5800s and the 5700s are coming back in stock. You can actually buy those. And the 50 no sorry the 3900 3950. They're
Okay, I
like
was going
on
to say.
sale.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. No, the 5000 series, yeah, you can't get a hold of them, but the 3000 you can now do it again. So
Josh,
that's
wasn't
plus.
this Sabrent 2 terabyte one a pick of yours like the last week or a couple weeks ago?
I don't know. I mean, I've got one that I still haven't even
hold on.
installed here yet. But yeah, they're good apparently, and they run. And so are the SN850s, and so are the Samsung 980 Pros. They're all very very similar in overall performance, and a pretty significant jump across multiple workloads than the older PCI 3.0 stuff, and certainly a nicer jump. Magic. Nicer jump
Ignore the arm.
from the first generation 4.0 stuff. So,
These
Look at
synthetic results are great. Like their response time is second only to the 980 Pro. With, I'm assuming this first column is reads and the second one is writes. I'm not really sure here. Game copy. I mean, if you just look at reads and writes up here, it's at the top of the charts. They're very very fast. Samsung's 980 Pro is not going to be as fast in straight line speeds, where they're going to probably have an advantage as more of the like 4K random, more like real world type stuff, the way they tune their firmware. But these are like monsters. This Rocket 4 Plus will be hard to beat this year.
Well, we say that now.
yeah, and there's not a huge premium on them either. So, I mean, there is a premium, but not like what Samsung has done in the past.
So that was sort of the biggest thing the biggest difference between the two drives is Sabrent's was about 20 cents a gig at a terabyte and above, and Samsung was about 23.
And Dave in the chat says, don't they default back to supported speeds? Yes, I'm sure they're all PCIe 3 compliant, but at that point, you're spending a lot
What's
of
the point?
extra money, right?
Yeah.
Because they're not going to be faster than, say, a 970 Pro or Evo at Gen 3 speeds, where you have the advantages of those higher straight line speeds. Everything else, like the random and the real world type usage scenarios, you're not gaining anything by buying a Gen 4 drive, except for you're future proofing yourself, I guess. But
Hey, if I could interrupt this this
No,
podcast.
no.
Maybe just
I'm
briefly,
interrupting
just
you.
right,
Okay,
Brett,
all right, you can do
fine,
that.
number two.
All right. We just got a new patron right now, like seconds ago.
Ding, ding,
And
ding.
Their name, their ding. We should have a dinging bell or something now. Their name is interesting.
Kind of want to lie you?
No, but that's a
No?
good name.
Okay.
Keep that in your back pocket. Whip that out when you're ready. It's $1.99, $2.99, $3.99, $4.99. But you saw that coming.
$4.99. Thank you.
$4.99. Thank you.
Thank you.
Numeric dude. We love you, man.
That is nice.
Appreciate
And I
it.
still have to record the $10 one. I'm thinking of something to say, and I've got
$10.
to do the mailbag, and I've
You
got.
do.
I'm so
Oh,
far behind.
hey.
I think I'm ahead.
I'm muted. You
It's
got that
act-
Merc.
It's actually. Yeah, that too. It's actually been months. Let me just do the mailbag. Then you can Merc him. Then you can.
And at
Merc
that
him.
No,
point,
no,
Josh,
no
I'm-
Merkin. No Merkin.
What's
No
wrong?
Merkins here. No Merkin talk.
No, there's a opportunity to ask Josh anything. It's kind of like an AGA or AJA, right? So jump on the Discord, send something to Patreon, send a note to us through the website, whatever. Do some posting, and we'll have Josh give you his thoughts on something that only you have come up with, and he'll probably talk right to you and kind of look you right in the eyes as he's saying it. It'll be very intimate. So if you could just do that.
Wait, we
Ask
talking
some
about the
more
mailbag
questions.
or something even
Sure.
more
Oh.
personal?
Well,
What you got?
maybe the mailbag. The mailbag would be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
do that.
Make it like PG. Try to keep it family friendly, I guess.
Yeah, they've got to put more money in his elastic band in order to get the personal touch.
Well, that stuff wouldn't go out on the public channel anyway.
No, it would not.
It's all private
No.
stuff. It's all encrypted.
I mean, the
like
elastic
Snapchat.
band in my fuzzy pants, my comfy pants, is also, not. It's not going to hold up a whole lot of cash anyway. So
Well, you have to put a big roll of hundreds in there.
Yeah, but then the weight would probably it would just drop down the pant leg. Now, do
And
they
we
have
just
like
wanted to
shake
go
it
for
out
that.
like I was on the golf course.
Do you have cuffs
Like I said.
on your? Are these like sweatpants with like the elastic cuffs
No,
around your
no,
ankles?
it's open bottom. So
Oh, they're open bottom. That's okay.
yeah,
Modern man.
fleece pants. Yeah,
Wait a second. Hang on. Yeah, you never know where this is going to happen. This podcast is. You never know what's going to happen. We just had somebody up their pledge to Josh Personal Zone.
Uh oh. Uh oh.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Now he's gotta get busy.
My message is Nori. Sebastian, Nori has a 6900 XT Red Devil for review. Yes, it can. That can be your message exactly, because that's what I just said.
Yeah. He sent me a message earlier. I was just like, wait, is that a reference card? He's like, no, it's the Red Devil. I'm like, oh, wow, that's
The Red Devil. Yeah.
It's a monster.
Which makes it's like this wide.
Yeah, it's. I don't even know how many slots it is if you actually were to
Yeah.
measure it.
Also
It's-
good for fishing for tuna.
It is. If you turned it sideways, you could strain krill through its giant blue whale style grill. Nobody knows what I'm talking about.
No.
So yeah, thank you, Nori, and that'll be a personal message from Josh at that pledge level.
Oh,
I feel like
wow.
I'm running a telethon.
Okay, we'll keep it up. As we continue with the PC Purathon, let's go to. Hold on, what did I do here? I did something.
This is like, what am I doing? I'm prostituting myself for you guys, all for you.
Yeah,
I know.
and we appreciate it.
Okay.
You're
Yeah,
the
well,
best.
yeah, I guess there are worse gigs.
There are.
My mom's gonna be so happy to hear I'm a sex worker.
She will never see the video. No.
Yeah, you say that now.
No, you're not. No, you're just. He just likes to dance on TikTok. That doesn't make him a sex worker.
It just makes him one of the millions of TikTokers, really,
Right.
lost in the crowd.
Well, a lot of them have like another account on the side that's for the more
Oh.
adult content.
I don't watch that, so I don't know what you're talking about.
All right. The Realme. I'm just moving us along. The Realme 7. I read this originally as 7.5G. The Realme 7 5G. It's mobile value for everyone. I see how the Register has their own site on the phone. That's clever. See what they have to say about this.
Yeah,
Is this-
people
how
like to
cheap
promote
is this?
themselves.
Oh, that's
Just
it.
under $300.
Okay.
Yeah, cheap 5G.
Yeah, but 6.5 inch, 1080 by 2400 at 100 hertz refresh. Although if you want to save battery, you can crank that down. It doesn't really have anything special. It's got a decent camera, relatively basic interface, 500 or 5000 milliamp hour battery, so not huge, but at the same time, the idea for this thing is you give it to someone who just doesn't need a bloody flagship phone. You know, you give it to a teenager that's gone through their third phone of the year, and you're not going out and starting up a new thing. You give it to a parent who's just bloody well using it as a phone, and occasionally scares you by texting you. It's decent. There's cheaper ones out there, but for this, it's not a bad idea. And right at the heart, you've got MediaTek Dimensity 800U, which translates to 2 ARM Cortex A76s and 6 Cortex A55s, with the Mali G57 for graphics. So, it's a couple of years old, more or less, except with new technology. And really, for what a lot of people need, it does everything that you need it to. So, you don't have to run out there and buy something fancy.
I don't
The
understand
point is,
complaint
in
about
2021.
the screen.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No,
Go ahead.
I was just saying that they were complaining a lot about the screen because it's IPS. Like, there's nothing wrong with an LCD display. I take issue with the fact that they say it suffers from color fidelity is an issue on LCD screens.
Yeah.
That's not
Who
true.
knows?
LCD screens have superior color fidelity technically to Pentile-based AMOLED screens because you're using an RGB stripe. But anyway.
Which are often available at that 200 and something per dollar price point.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. You're going to have to make some sacrifices.
What was that? What was the technology? Was it Pentile that Samsung came out with the S3
Yeah.
that
was,
had all the people up in arms about how it looked like crap, and it kind of did in ways, but yeah.
I didn't like it. It looked kind of green to me, but
Yeah.
it's because I believe the pattern is such that two blue and red subpixels have to share one larger green subpixel, so they can have kind of a green cast, especially off axis, but it saves energy.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Well, two things. Wait, before you move on, two things. The one, this is supposed to illustrate the promise of 5G, along with the next link as well, is that it's finally coming down in price for nicely featured feature phone, to reuse the word. But anyway, that was in 2021. Expect to see a lot more of that. The
Oh, I
second
see.
thing,
Yeah,
You see.
the second thing here is you guys must be showing a lot of leg this evening because Matthew Marshall just became another patron. Just got the email on that. Thank you, Matthew Marshall. So this particular posting that you just had up there is a discussion on whether 5G in 2021 will finally live up to the hype. We haven't really gotten as much 5G everywhere where everybody lives, so hopefully the rollout continues and that everyone can begin to enjoy 5G speeds, especially in places, and I actually live in a county where not everybody can even get high-speed wired internet. So only the high population centers can get it, and I'm not that far outside of Washington, D.C., honestly. So you'd think this is a pretty wired area of the country.
So,
Not
so
everybody
do
can
the
get high-speed
do
internet.
the technicians come out to? Am I muted? No. Do the
No, you're good.
technicians come out to your house and say, "You sure do have a pretty mouth"?
Not the technicians, but I do have
Oh,
gigabit
okay.
here. Yeah, I do have gigabit internet here, so it's not that there's certain places you can't buy it. You can, but there's a lot of people who are like outside of town, and Nick complains about it a lot. They've got to buy satellite, or they got to buy some hybrid solution or stuff like that. So the promise of 5G is looking pretty good for a lot of people. So that's what I want to put out there is to say I hope 5G the hype delivers in 2021 for more people in more areas.
I feel like the conversation about 5G, I'm trying to come up with a witty way of describing this. Like, imagine if you don't have a car and you need one, but you're more concerned about advancing technologies in like fuel alternative vehicles. Like I'm waiting for that hydrogen vehicle to supplant electricity before I buy a car, but I need one now. I just want, that didn't make any sense, but my point is we don't even
I
have
think I understand.
we don't even have consistent 3G in this country. You
I always
cannot.
think of 5G. Whenever I hear that, do you know the show The Colony? And the people are driving, the rich people are driving the rich car down the highway, and it's got the big walls, and you got all the crappy houses outside, but they're driving through this pristine thing in a nice car. That kind of reminds me of 5G. I mean, it's nobody regular really has it or has a use for it, or it's just one of those things. I don't.
It's
You know, we've been just surrounded by 5G for the past 5 years, and that's all they've ever talked about, and all how it's going to make your life better. And
But it's not. It's
I
not
can
out
see
there
how
yet.
it will do it, but it's just not. You know, it's like they promised the moon and they've delivered a silver earring. I don't know.
Yeah, not,
It's got a moon
not a lot
shape.
yet.
Yeah.
what is it going to do to enhance people's lives if you're
Well,
surrounded
it's
by
assuming that everything is going to be IoT.
exactly right,
Yeah.
but if you're surrounded by IoT devices, like the biggest problem with those is going to be ultra low power. I'm sure by the time 5G is prevalent, there'll be ultra low power 5G chips, so all their IoT devices can be 5G enabled and have ultra low latency talking to each other. But
Yeah.
So
It's
my
a lot
fridge
of
can
buying
tweet to
stuff.
the toaster quicker.
yeah, it's so that
Good.
so that you can be surveilled
Start warming
more
up that
effectively.
butter, baby.
So
Yeah.
that my refrigerator can tell me how often I've opened the door.
Right. Your refrigerator door is not fully sealed, Brett. Please open and reclose.
This
your
week you
refrigerator door.
stood in front of the refrigerator without taking anything out for a total
You
of
had-
38 minutes.
You've had enough beers. No more.
Right.
No.
That's the
You're
Forge.
right.
So you judge me?
Yeah, 5G faster than Tesla
You're
satellite
weird.
internet. Yes, I think. I mean, 5G. It's like a brand name, but there's multiple ways of delivering 5G. There's multiple. You can do like microwave technology. You can have, I think, like blanket Wi-Fi. You can do multi-stream, basically like multi LTE streams, whatever the technology is. But it's just, it makes me annoyed just to think about the fact that I can't drive even from one side of my own state to the other without losing service in at least a couple of places along the way. And there are people concerned about 5G now. Just give everybody gigabit fiber and have the world blanketed in 3G before you worry about 5G.
Yeah. What
Yeah.
he said.
Hey,
Power to
speaking
the
of
people.
speaking of negativity and angry ranting, let's move on to the next topic. When will insert tech product here, GPUs, consoles, actually be available? When is that going to happen? We're in 2021.
Josh.
Remember, the year changed.
Josh. Yeah.
Now
2022.
suddenly,
Everybody said wait for the next year.
yeah,
It'll happen.
2020 is
Josh,
finally over.
Josh, you were just talking.
You know, I think that by the end of January, we're going to see some things be in better stock. I really do think that AMD CPUs will be pretty much mostly available. It's not going to just be the, 5 or 6 combo drops at Newegg. I had a tweet about that one. You feel lucky.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if there are 5 or 6 combos. I lost count in all the excitement. But anyway, yeah. GPUs are still going to be pretty rare, but we're going to have more drops from like Newegg, and hopefully see actual stuff on Amazon that'll stay up for more than 5 minutes. But it's that the whole chain is just still hammered, and demand is. I know people would like to say that it's mining doing all the problems, but it's a part of the problem, but it's not the whole thing. They're just. I've talked to people from other companies, and it's all kinds of stuff down the line. And so getting one component consistently so you can run a line is just next to impossible. Not quite impossible, as we see Newegg had another drop tonight that lasted all of 0.3 milliseconds. If you were lucky enough to refresh at the right time and hit add to cart without everything crashing. But it's you're going to have to wait until the end of January and into February until you can start seeing these things on a more regular basis. And it's really sad to think that NVIDIA had released their 3080s in September, and you still can't get a hold of them 4 months later, not to mention even the smaller and larger variants.
Here's my
And-
concern.
I'll just throw this out here since Newegg doesn't even give a way to do it. They allow certain people like NGE Technology, which currently will sell you an RX 6800 XT on Newegg Canada for $1,750.
Huh.
Retail price should be between $950 to maybe $1,100 for the top end third-party card. And these arseholes have appeared out of nowhere, and they've got 0 reviews, 0 other products on there. And they've now currently are hawking 3 of the damn things on Newegg. But literally the only one you can buy. Don't do it. Just don't do it.
Yeah, you're enabling them to be crappy by buying it at that price.
Yep.
It's if you've ever watched eBay listings from scalpers, when they don't get their insane asking price, they relist for 100 less, and then 100 less, and then eventually they sell for barely enough to cover their fees. One hopes. But I put up on the screen a minute ago the Bitcoin price, which started off the day at around 34 and a half, and it's now up to $37,566.90. So this concerns
Yeah.
me. This concerns me.
That
a
guy
lot.
who spent a couple hundred Bitcoin on that pizza is really pissed right now.
Oh yeah, can you imagine?
Really pissed.
I remember when Bitcoin was considered just junk, and people just never cashed it in. I know there was somebody like searching through a landfill to try to find a hard drive that had some Bitcoins on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But hey, it's fleeting. This will probably drop, but
Oh
who
yeah.
knows? When they were at 20,000, you couldn't buy a graphics card for like 8 months, unless it was part of a bundle or if you bought a PC that had a graphics card in it.
Yeah.
And
But isn't Bitcoin still so tough on even this new generation of GPUs that
Yeah.
ASICs are
Yeah,
still
you
just
can't-
better?
I
Yeah,
hear the
but
NVIDIA
Ethereum-
approach is actually
Ethereum
pretty
though
good.
is still
Yeah.
pretty good with GPUs, and that's been going up in price as well.
yes,
I'm not sure that the algorithm runs as well on AMD chips or AMD cards, actually.
No, I
from what
believe
I've read.
Ether was better on Nvidia.
It
That's what I
was. Here's the concern though that I have is that when BTC goes up, altcoins go up. It always happens. And look at
Dogecoin.
Look at Ether right now. It's at 12. I looked at this the other day and I couldn't believe it was at 900. Now it's at 12. It was at around 500 just a month ago.
It's like 1997 all over again.
Yeah.
It's a bubble.
But don't worry, the bubbles will never burst. They last forever.
They never do. Yeah.
All right. That's depressing, but I feel like we've seen this before. I mean, we have to learn from the past. And we saw what happened the last time. People realized, oh, I can easily just like turn on this little application and I get money every day. They're going to buy
Wow.
up all the cards.
Yeah. Hey, I just want to mention that this is the perfect time for me, especially on availability, that I was not the first person to actually say the phrase or the word Micro Center. I was not the first person. In the chat,
Fake news.
YouTube chat, Toilet Bug, Micro Center is kind of low too, as we said.
Yeah, but you're the first
So-
one on the podcast to talk about it, though.
True, but
Again.
I think that was actually part of my thing. I have to. It's kind of like part of my contract. Mirror's actually triggered. So yeah, just swing by your local Micro Center and pick up an AMD CPU. I mean, that's really all it's going to take.
What would really annoy me is driving the 2.5 hours to my local Micro Center, only to find that they don't have the one that I want in stock. And I don't want to, and I'd be tempted to settle. And it's just,
Yeah, and then when you asked, it was because a guy named Brett actually ordered one, and they shipped that model from that one to the other
Oh,
store,
I
so
don't
he can
think
go
they
pick
they
it
did a
up.
store-to-store transfer. I'm sure it happens every
don't-
day.
Yeah,
You don't do that sort of thing. It's whatever you see here, pal.
Sure it is. You don't know about the
Pla-
back stock, the lockup in the
Plasma
back
rifle
room.
in the 30-watt range.
when you used to
Can
be
I
in
ask you a
retail.
quick? I mean, are we going to move along from this, or can I ask
You
you a
bet.
question?
Shoot.
This is for you. LG offered that OLED for like $1,200 for a 55. Are we going to see more of that kind of stuff? I mean, do you see the prices on OLEDs going down more dramatically? I mean, because you can get, 4K Samsung HDR QLED for $700 for a 65 inch.
Right. But the QLED.
But I mean, you're not getting it's. I mean, that's QLED obviously,
Right.
And you're going to get the 60 hertz and the 120, true motion, which of course is not really true motion. But it's like that LG for $1,300, 55 inch that has actually, G-Sync and 120 hertz and OLED. I mean, do you foresee them going much cheaper than they are now? Or what do you consider to be a better buy around $1,000 or less?
There isn't one. If you value black levels, because Samsung to get a QLED with similar black levels and that really, to me the most impressive part of HDR is not that my screen gets to 1,000 nits. It's that there's just this midnight black and then the bright lights that shine out. It's like a flashlight shining out into your room. So. And Samsung does that. You just have to get one of their TVs that has local dimming, and then you're up over that level, that price level. So, and yeah, I know some of them have local dimming and they're cheaper, but it's like there's just a few zones, and they do a lot of bottom lighting, and there's some bleed issues in the ones
Don't
that I've
they?
seen.
I think the one that I read about was brand new. It had 2 levels of LED backlighting. Did you
I'm not up
know
on
about
it enough
that,
to
or-
know. No.
anyway? Okay.
When everybody adopts micro LED, it's going to be great. Like that Samsung, or not Samsung, the Sony Z9, I think it was, that had a high resolution backlight, so it could just kind of follow the action in the light and have a tremendous experience. But the problem with that TV is it was so expensive to implement this backlighting system that it was more expensive than an OLED. So at that point, just get the OLED. It's an emissive display. It's like a plasma.
Yeah.
And there are people who absolutely will not get OLED because they are afraid of burn-in, just as they were afraid of burn-in with plasma. My advice is get the OLED at $1,300. That's a great price because they're not going to go down unless they're clearanced out after CES. If LG announces a new series for 2021, then yeah, the 2020 models will eventually get discounted. That's the only time they're going to be cheaper. But we're approaching Super Bowl time, which means TV prices are generally as low as they're going to be around Super Bowl. That's the big push.
I gotta watch out.
Yeah.
I would just jump
Because I'm
on
not
it.
going to get that damn Hobbit, not a Hobbit, but Lord of the Rings until I actually have HDR.
I have.
Because I got a 4K that I bought for $800, almost 3-4 years ago. Yeah,
I bought
and it's
my
not HDR.
I bought my OLED in 2016. It's been regularly supported. And the thing about them is that any of them support both HDR10 and Dolby Vision. And it looks fantastic. And I've left this feature called Screen Shift on since I bought it, which periodically moves the whole thing like a pixel or two from side to side so you don't get burn in. And I don't care that I'm losing a couple pixels on each side. My wife and son watch this TV all the time. It's just a TV. So I'm not like worried about a home cinema experience off of this TV most of the time. And I've gotten so used to it, I don't even notice the screen shift anymore. It's every few minutes, and it just moves it just imperceptibly to the left or right. But because of this, I have absolutely zero image retention on this screen after 4 years, and I don't even know how many hours of use. So I would just jump on it. Because even though the price dropped since I bought mine at $3,000,
And how big?
it's a 65. So if you can get a
65 is still like $1,900.
if you can get a 55 for 13, that's such a good deal because their 48 is like 14 or 15. Anyway, I don't know if the stream hiccuped or not, but my screen here, I think I actually had vMix like hiccup, so I might have.
I didn't see any issue on this end. So
Nobody's complaining.
Okay.
All right, interesting.
No, nobody said a thing.
I just looked over
So
and
the
everything
next-
was frozen, and then there was a flash and it came back.
So the next bit is I threw out a couple of what I thought were going to be interesting games outside of the Outriders shooter that we talked about earlier, coming up in 2021. So if you guys, off the top of your heads, can think of anything that you want to talk about, I threw out Halo Infinite as a potential interesting 2021 ship, and it's looking nice. And I like the Halo series myself, and I like the gameplay, and I like the concept and the storyline and all that. So I think this would be something that I would get.
Is this
how you guys
fully
run it?
path traced?
That's a
I don't
multiplayer
think
map.
so.
It looks great. Let's get out of this screen here. But anybody have any other? I mean, I don't even know what's coming. I have not looked into it.
Pending Doom.
I do want. It would be nice to get some more OLED PC monitors. But you'd really worry about burn-in with those
Yeah. Yep.
desktop icons, So
And
you
a-
have to be pretty careful.
And pixel
Hey, at least
shift
you'll be able
would
to get
a
it
bigger-
in like plasma. Josh can't have plasma.
Can't.
It doesn't do well at high altitudes.
They did develop plasmas that could be at high altitudes, but yeah,
Okay.
it was anything above 6,200 feet. The buzz. Why does my plasma sound like a grinder? I never had one, so didn't have to worry about that. But I had
I
a
am
friend who
still
did,
watching
and
it.
it was
I'm
amazing.
still watching a plasma, Josh. Somebody just said in chat, Battlefield 6 is coming. That'd be another good one in 2021 if they get done in 2021. I don't know how far along
I
they
thought
are.
they were back to Battlefield 1 now.
Oh, they're going to reset?
Oh, like the word one instead of one, Or
Yeah.
I mean, it's been 10 years since Elder Scrolls 5. Yes, 6. It would be nice, but that's still like
There was a
2 years
tease.
away.
I just want to look
Unless
at
it was a tease for Elder Scrolls Online, which is
Yeah,
more
no.
likely and
Yeah.
really frustrating.
I just want to look at one more screenshot here. Look at this. This looks
Yeah.
great. It
It
looks
does.
like Ralph McQuarrie concept art for Star Wars.
Yeah. So I'm definitely intrigued by this. Is Halo Infinite, just in case you
Yeah.
didn't read the bottom left-hand
Yeah,
corner.
yeah. Let's see. Battlefield 6, is that coming? Is that what I saw?
PUBG 2.0, somebody just threw out there.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
another one
Yeah.
potentially in 2021.
The sequel.
Yep. If you're looking at BF6.
Yep.
Another two that I remake, and Jeremy, this remake you probably would be interested in. Two that I threw out in there was a pair of System Shocks. Do you remember them?
Backer.
Oh, you're a backer
backed.
on SS3.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll cue that up here in a second. But yeah, BF6
Which,
release date is going to be. I don't know. You're scrolling too fast.
I am scrolling too fast.
Mid to late 2021.
There you go. They might not
So,
make it.
yeah, it's coming. We'll
They
see
might not
demos
make
of it. We'll see it at virtual E3, I'm sure. But
So yeah, that probably is not a huge chance. Maybe 50-50.
it's a
seeing that in
little
2021.
early. It's a little
I
early.
may have to let my cat out. I'll be right back because
Okay.
she's.
Let the cat out.
That's code for something. You've seen that comic. System Shock. System Shock 1 is being remade in 2021. That's that first link there. In case you
Yep.
guys have never played this is a very interesting survival horror
Hello,
sci-fi.
hacker.
Yes, it's the creepiest video evil villain ever. Some
They
would
got
say.
her to do it again.
That's
She
her name is
has
Terry
re-
Brodius.
Yes. And so she's done a bunch of new recordings and updated
Oh, and-
recordings.
It's trippy. If you've never played a System Shock game, it's basically if you ever you have to set this the Wayback Machine for like Thief and Thief 3 and anyway, this was a sort of a different genre concept back then, and where you have to
Is it
choose
called
a
the
different
Omen
belt.
engine?
That maybe now, but I think back then it was the Thief engine. I think that was what
Yeah,
it was
I'm
called.
Well,
pretty
no,
sure it
Omen
was.
was the thief engine, and then
Oh,
they
damn, you're right.
enhanced Omen with
Okay.
with System Shock.
Yeah.
Anyway, if you guys, anybody's into like atmosphere, horror, sci-fi, I mean, who isn't really?
Yeah, the
Um,
monkey
this-
level in System Shock 2.
Yeah.
Holy crap!
That is just, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, if
there's
you
just
want,
a
like,
whole
a
lot
head
of holy
trip.
crap.
Yeah, this is a head trip thing. It's just a combo, great, interesting adventure, build up your character sort of game. You know, you never know what's going to be around the next corner. It's always something new. It's formulatic for only a short amount of time, and then something different happens. So the remaking System Shock 1, and then System Shock 3, which Jeremy said you were a backer of. I am
Yep.
really looking forward to that. They've had a lot of difficulties in sort of bringing this to fruition. It's been through a lot of different owners,
There's
funding
been some
issues.
huge legal bullshittery going on for a very long
That's sad.
time. Yeah,
It's just too bad.
but they're doing it. They're also totally redoing the whole cyberspace element of it to make it work. I'm gonna say, because the first iteration of it was not so good. So yeah, no, I'm really looking forward to these. I don't honestly know how much faith I have we're going to see them before the end of 2021. I like
This
to
looks
think we will.
This is SS3,
Yes.
a demo reel or video of SS3, and yeah, this is
And essentially,
freakish
you've
sci-fi horror.
got two different takes on the same game.
Yeah,
Because System Shock 3 is not so much a remake of the original nor a sequel to it, but sort of a blending of the two. And sort of say, what if we redid this with what we can do now?
Mhm.
It's going to be very interesting. It's going to be hard. I mean, the System Shock and System Shock 2 were not easy games.
difficult games.
This was
You died a
the
lot.
first time. Well, it was not so much as that. It was the first time you could lean around a corner and you damn well wanted to lean around every corner. Different ammo types. You hear a robot
You know what the
coming
worst part
down,
of
and you're
all the system shocks were? Can I just interrupt in here?
Yes.
They were the worst designed weapons ever.
Oh God,
Because
yes.
they'd fall
they
apart
broke.
after like
They
17
broke.
shots.
Yep.
Mhm.
And you had to keep them in repair
The
and
future is
finding
a horrible
ammo.
place for
Yes.
firearms.
Yes,
They were
not
looking
good at
forward
all.
to the world of 3D printed firearms, I think.
Do you want to know what I think the secret weapon of this game series was? And it's tricky, but I think
Laser
it was
rapier?
audio. No, it was audio.
Yes.
It was actually the sound effects and the way it played, especially in headphones, because
And it was I
the-
think it was Ariel that they
You know what I
had
think it was?
support in there.
Back in the day, yeah.
But- yeah,
So you
and
could hear
like I
stuff
said, the
before you
whole
could see it.
monkey thing, where you'd
Yeah.
hear the monkeys chittering in the background.
You could
above
hear
you.
them, and you knew where they were. And
Yep.
and the other thing is the stuff in the game sought you out. They went after you. They didn't wait for you to kind of show up and then fight you in a room. They would come after you. They knew where you were, or the intelligence would send them after you. It was scary.
Yes.
Scary, you know, it's appropriate for a survival horror game.
It
But no,
it
you're
was
absolutely right about the audio, because it and what was the old Elder Scrolls before Morrowind?
Daggerfall?
Wow, it's going back along.
Redguard.
No, well, it wasn't Redguard, was it? Good Lord,
Daggerfall.
I think it was
Arena?
Daggerfall. No, not the first Arena. Yeah, so
Oblivion.
definitely Daggerfall.
No.
It was after.
Okay.
But
No, Morrowind.
it was a thing
before
where you
Oblivion.
could hear an enemy coming, and each enemy had specific, very distinct sounds that they made. So that after playing it for a while, just the audio cue you would know, oh shit, I'm going to run the other way because I can't deal with that thing again. It's too tough. And System Shock did the same thing. You heard them coming, and you got scared.
Right, and they could hear you.
Yes.
The things in the game could hear you, and you knew that. And you could tell that if you
A
did
20-year-old
something-
gamer is like, yeah, so
Sound.
what? This is what everything does. No, back then, this was new.
No one had done this before, and it was freakish.
Yes.
So yeah, looking forward to that.
Anyway,
Yeah.
Solid 2021. Looking forward to hopefully seeing that actually get released. Anybody else have a looking forward to game or really anything in 2021?
I'd like a more boring year.
That would be okay.
All right.
That would be
Tamp
okay.
down the excitement.
Yeah.
Relaxing.
Curious to see how Subnautica Below Zero turns out.
Oh yeah.
Taking a couple of peeks at it. It's not finished yet, but it looks interesting. And the first one was quite absorbing for a while.
I only
right.
played Subnautica for a few hours. Enjoyed it though. I'd like to get back to it sometime.
It gets more terrifying.
I feel like this is a return of the sort of sleepy style podcast. You can listen to this on your, as you drift off. Listen to Brett and his gentle.
Don't
gentle
drive to
tones.
this.
No.
Don't drive to this. Don't.
Where's a party popper when I need one?
Yeah. Hey,
Sebastian,
Yeah, I
you're
was about
talking
ready to
about
scream
the-
into my microphone, and that.
That was tempting.
Sebastian, you were talking about virtual CES.
yeah,
a while
it's
ago.
coming. January 11 through 14. They says we are CES ready. It's all digital this year, which I imagine means that maybe certain things that would have been shown might not be shown. A lot of companies are going to probably do their own little events. Because why not? Why would you have a booth at Virtual CES when you could host your own online event?
Yeah, right on top of each other. Why not?
Yeah. It's going to be a lot of conflicting event timings. I
And
think.
we're starting to get a little bit of pre-event material. We might get a little bit more. So, some players are already trying to get out in front, making sure that they get coverage.
Indeed. Well, we'll hear all about it next week. I don't know if we'll have a
will.
show next week. We used to do either take the week off or do a show from CES. So we'll see. I mean, we're all working from home, so we could still do a show, but it depends on what the CES workload looks like, I guess. Although, really, by the time the show starts, we've pretty much already heard about everything, and everything's already been announced. So, I think
Unless we went on live at the same time as one of the other events and did one of those like Statler and Waldorf sort of things and like commented on it as they were giving their live presentation.
We could always do that. I think the first major event that you mentioned earlier was somebody mentioned the NVIDIA thing on the 12th.
AMD's doing a half hour.
Are they?
I saw it. Yeah, let me scroll back here. Someone will chime in as to when it is because I just saw it in the Discord. Somebody mentioned it.
Yeah, gotta give equal time. If we're gonna do NVIDIA, we gotta do AMD.
Yeah, yeah.
And then, find if Intel's doing a thing. So, upcoming stuff. I saw on the list here. Reviews coming up. You've got cases, PSUs, Z490 boards for 10th and 11th gen.
Yeah,
all
I've got
in
a
the
new case
pipeline.
in. I've got some PSUs are going to get sent to me that won't be released until February. Nice new case that people are going to be probably wanting to move to. The previous generation was talked about quite a lot, and held up as an example of something that was good. So I have the new generation of a case that a lot of people like that I'm going to be reviewing. PSUs that are coming up, and yeah, Z490 boards. I have at least one Z490 board that is looking like it should be a very reasonable board to host both 10th and 11th generation Intel chips. So yeah, that's what I got. What do you guys got? I hear somebody's got a Merck card that they're looking to review. I can't remember.
Got a
who it is.
Merkin that no. Yeah, that pair of headphones, a tough armor thing, and I think that's about it. I mean, I bought that 5600X myself, so I mean, it's not like I have to review it. I mean, you probably should go through some stuff, but yeah, no, it's. I thought I'd get more done last week, but no.
I finally took this out of the box.
What do you got there?
I'm
What's in
working
the
on
box?
this.
What's in the
Sugo
box?
15. I got the silver one. The box shows
Is there
the
a hole in the
silver
box?
and the black one, but I got the silver. It's pretty nice. Like so far, it can be put in more than one orientation. It looks like a bigger N-Case M1 kind of. So it's perforated on 3 sides. And it's aluminum, and it seems really well made. So that's the Silverstone Sugo 15, which I am working on currently on top of a bunch of other projects that are just in a state of... I left off at Christmas, and then I haven't picked them back up. So I'm like picking up the pieces like, where was I with this one? Do I have the charts made for that one? So there's stuff coming. But
That
CES,
brushed aluminum looks nice. Classy.
it is very nice. It's more silver than I was expecting. So if you get the silver, it's very silver. It's shiny. But you probably would be getting the black one if you like more muted colors anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's it. Unless anybody has anything
what else
else.
you got?
Oh wait, no, picks of the week. What am I saying?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
there's that.
It's time for picks of the week. Let's raise the energy level again.
Hey.
I'll drink some sugar-free Powerade real quick.
Powerade.
Make this interesting.
I guess I'll go with my pick of the week. You know what? With life is fun as it has been as of late. This has been a nice little thing. If you have Apple TV, watch Ted Lasso. If you don't have Apple TV, maybe sign up for the free trial and give it a go. But it's nothing deep, but it's funny and it's not depressing. So there you have it. Been enjoying watching it.
Well, seeing as how Man City just beat Man U 2-0 today in Carabao Cup, I'm a little upset by it, but yeah.
I see. But yeah, can't be too bad.
Josh,
but
even
yeah,
those hairstyles are upbeat in that clip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody's got hair, pretty much.
Yeah.
But yeah. It's fun.
You know what else is fun? Thermal
No.
paste.
Oh my gosh, thermal paste. Oh, so much fun. At parties. Thermal paste is really
Hey,
fun.
it's a stupidly good deal, and I didn't really have much to go with.
What's the
But-
deal here? Is this a multiple quantity situation?
No, it's just $8 or $9.
That's good.
Like, Generally, if you're getting the name brand stuff, not the, yep, this is technically thermal paste.
How many ounces?
Some.
Some.
A few.
Does it say? I mean,
It
it's,
doesn't actually say. It's a syringe full.
I
Okay.
pay around this for the Noctua stuff. I think somewhere around $8.
You know, and to be honest, don't ever pay $38 for it. That's just freaking stupid.
understand.
But usually, it's $14 to $20.
Oh wait, is this
So-
Canadian though? This is Canadian.
Yes, this is specifically
Oh.
Canadian.
Oh, so this would be like $5 for me.
Is this
If
a
even-
direct
yeah.
injectable thermal paste, or is this topical use? I always
That
really-
is something
track.
that you can decide for yourself as a responsible adult.
It's between you and your doctor. I understand. Okay.
Brett's pick interests me strangely. This looks highly useful.
It is if you want to get extremely close to things,
Oh, I
like
do.
say, and you do. Yeah, I know what you mean. This allows you, and look at the different sizes for different fitments that these lenses come in.
And
all
we
the way
can
from
go
37.
back to the previous pick and talk about the usage and being able to see that usage close up.
Very, very close, extremely close. So when you're trying to take pictures of, like, if you really want to get
Small
really
things?
close to, well, not necessarily, not necessarily, Josh. I'm talking about like technology things, like motherboards, CPUs, or whatever. So if you want to take an interesting close-up picture of something, then these lenses are very handy to have. Then they come in a variety of fitment sizes, all the way from down to 37, all the way up to 82 millimeters, and so a little bit of connectivity for every camera. I have a set right here, actually. I don't know if this is going to work. I'm going to hold it up to my camera.
Hey, look, it's magnifying. It's doing
I know
its
it is.
job.
That's
You can see
magic.
there's some spots on the lens. So this is a 52 because that was one that I put on there. This is a +4.
It's
Probably
not
can't read
focusing
that.
on
Not
the
that it
text.
matters.
Yeah.
Not that it matters. But anyway, it works really well if you want to take a camera that you're inside. Oh, no, my camera's out of focus. If you want to take a camera that's you're inside what's called a circle of confusion, which means that you're too close to something and it can't focus anymore, this actually lends an additional close focus capacity or capability to a camera. So if you want to get ridiculously close to something and use the full sampling width of the camera, these type of lenses come in handy. And they're only like $16, and they come with this little cool little camera, little lens holder.
It
and
looks
stuff
like a
that.
roll of old film.
It is, but it's actually got this sort of measuring thing inside of it for measuring the sizes of different lenses. So you can stick them on there, and you can see if does this fit that? And I don't know, you can store different lenses in there.
But
It's
by the
just a
time you
strange
have
shot.
that, isn't it too late? You've already bought the wrong size.
It is. You've already got the wrong size. I'm like, this
Yeah.
isn't the right one.
Well, that's why it didn't work.
Anyway, yeah. So this is actually something I'm putting on this camera here. So
With the giant, oversized, not compensating at all lens. Yes.
yeah, it's not a compensating. I'm not compensating for anything. Why would you even
That's
say
why you
that?
always have to pull it out on the stream.
Did I say that? Did I say pull it on the stream?
Okay. Now it's flying past the camera. Audio listeners, you are missing nothing.
No, you're
Nothing.
actually not missing out.
My pick.
Live in blissful
Welcome.
ignorance.
You're welcome. Oh yeah, you have a pick?
I have a pick because I finally
awesome.
bought something. Well, I didn't buy it. My wife bought it for me for my birthday. It
I
is.
didn't know you had a birthday.
It's next week, but I know what I'm getting because I had input. So this is something called the RG351P. Now the RG350 and especially the 350M are highly regarded handheld retro gaming systems. They're called emulation stations, essentially. And this is in a variety of colors. It comes in white, black, and this sort of Game Boy Advance retro purple color. And it's just one of the many handheld things. This is from a company called Anbernic that makes really good stuff from the video reviews I've watched. Did a lot of research about this and ended up deciding to get this one because it's a perfect upscale of Game Boy Advance. And I have always regretted selling my Game Boy Micro which was that really small Game Boy Advance that Nintendo put out. And I had one, and I never used it. And I took it out of the closet one day. I'm like, oh, I should see what these are going for on eBay. And I sold it. I never should have done it because now they sell for 2 and 3 times what I sold mine for. But the screen was really small. That was one of the reasons I never used it. It was like, I don't know how big the screen was. It was like 2 inches. But this has a 3.5-inch screen, and it's exactly 2x the resolution of a Game Boy Advance. So that's what I'm going to do with this. I'm going to play Tactics Ogre and Final Fantasy Tactics Advance and whatever else I want on this thing. So that's my pick. It's $100.
I'm taking mine back. I didn't realize you could buy these in 5-gallon pails.
Wait, where's the link? I want to see a pail of Tim.
5-gallon pail, thermal mastic heat transfer compound.
Dog?
My dog has a Christmas tree ornament in its mouth. The puppy.
Perfect.
Where's
it
my
glass?
wife? No, it's cheap plastic, but it's still not great for her.
No. It's not tinsel.
Just
Is this the stuff? Well, this is
propylene glycol.
No,
that
that's
can't be right.
that's-
I searched for. I searched for
Just
for
click
something
the bloody
totally
link.
5-gallon heat compound. I guess I should have used more. Wait, here's a tub of super lube.
There's a
5
really going on.
Super
gallons
You need
of.
that
Yeah, 5 gallons of
Silicone.
super lube, 5 gallons of mineral oil,
$135.
5 gallons of Tim.
My gosh,
I'm
it's available
set.
at Lowe's.
Yeah.
Lowe's even.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's
Not
some
even at your
serious
local pharmacy.
industrial heat sink compound.
Well, you know, it extends the life of sensitive components, Josh. Sensitive parts.
like
Exactly.
the
Nubbins.
electrodes of aluminum molten
That's right.
furnaces. I don't know.
Hmm. Yeah, probably.
Anyway,
That's not where I would smear it, but yes. All right. I think that's it. We will possibly talk to you guys next week. We'll keep you updated. Remember, pcpro.com/subscribe to find out when we go live for things like this podcast session. And Brett and I, and whoever else wants to be involved, we're going to be doing some kind of retro thing soon. I think it'd be
Yeah.
easier to just do a live stream first and kind of gauge interest and see how that goes.
Sure.
It could be like a show and tell. And you have far more interesting stuff than I do, so maybe
No,
it'll be
I
mostly.
don't, no.
I have a lot of 1990s PC like DOS era hardware. I don't have the
Some Mac stuff.
yeah, I don't have the like the Amiga stuff that you have. That's really interesting to me.
I do have that. I have a couple of those. Yeah.
So anyway, look for that in the nearish future. But until next time, thanks for listening and or watching, and we will talk to you guys
Thanks.
soon.
Good night, all.
That's the end.
Bye.
Kitty says bye.
Stopping the
Bye.
recording. 1 hour and 20 minutes.
That's like a
We
new
tried.
record. Hi, Cat.
Well, you know what? That first 15 minutes is done because we just went back and redid it, didn't we?
We only got about 3 minutes in before I stopped the recording and started it over again.
Oh, I thought it was longer than that.
We might have been streaming that long.
Yeah.
Hey, I gotta run. There are
okay.
more whining things behind me, and I need to get that ball away from the small puppy.
Yeah.
So we'll see you
Bye,
guys.
Josh.
Thank
In
you.
fact, it's probably a good time
Bye.
to just take the whole stream down. Josh is leaving
Yeah.
us. Although we could stick around for a minute. See if there's any
See if what people are talking about here.
there's a Ripper XXXL comment. Those are mouse pads that Josh has had behind him for about 10 years.
Mm-hmm. Oh, somebody says that that's actually O-ring lubricant, and they don't like where your mind went.
I'm sorry.
Okay, I added that second part.
Yeah. I mean, I think of something else when I hear O-ring in relation to lubricant, so I'm just, you get into that gutter
Bad
and it's
memories.
hard to get out. Yeah.
Ah, the memories.
Oh, if only I'd had that lubricant back then. Let's see. Yeah,
I don't think we pressured Josh enough on the 60-100 XT Merc. I think he got away too easy on that.
Hey, when I felt like there was a window of opportunity that closed when he was like, "Hey, are you around?" And I'm like, "I didn't see it," and then
Yeah.
he went on his trip. The holidays screw everything up. It's hard when
It's true.
You've got family and all that stuff.
I just started tearing down the other computer so I could put together a new case and a new computer in there, so I haven't touched it for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Jeremy, somebody wants to know when you're going to get out that yoga ball.
This
Try
one
seeing
is
it.
just for my back exercises. It's too small.
Oh.
Like,
Oh, he's going to demonstrate. Okay, everybody.
Okay, here we go.
back.
This is, let's go to camera 2.
there's a reason I don't use it.
You could just lower your camera.
No, my knees are up about chest level
Oh,
here.
okay, okay. I thought you were actually going to roll around on it and show us how you do your
I was
back
waiting to
exercises.
see some.
Yeah.
That's what I was hoping to see.
It's again premier content.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Oh.
and that's shirtless content.
Yeah.
So it's
definitely.
There will also be some very confused cats trying to help me out.
Yeah.
Satya says, "Love you all from India." I say thank you.
Thank you.
Wonder what time it is there right now. That's like what, 8 hours ahead, 10 hours ahead.
I have no idea. I don't even have a world clock.
The
set
UK
for that.
is 6 hours ahead.
I'm sure Jeremy serves it with maple syrup. I'm sure that he does.
There's probably maple syrup. Like maple syrup is involved in his back exercises for sure.
Christopher says it's 10 a.m. there,
carrot.
so
Hey.
mid-morning.
Yeah, it's a great way to start your day.
Yeah, sounds right. About 14 hours.
Hey, Soren, I mean it this time. He says, "You've been promising a retro show for a year now." Well, look, I used to do retro
know-
streams. Remember, there were several streams last year where I just did retro randomness. But Brett also has a weakness for retro stuff, whereas
I
Jim
do.
was not enthralled with my retro shenanigans.
He didn't seem to cotton to it. in other
No,
words.
so that's why I stopped doing it.
Yeah.
He was like, "What the hell are you doing?" Like, just taking a day off.
You're doing something. Just doing a thing. Actually, we're paying attention to both YouTube and Discord.
Kind of, yeah. It's unprecedented.
Just sort of did something.
I did more than 2,
Proves
Soren.
that.
I did multiple streams, but most of them were on my own Twitch channel, so very few people saw them.
Somebody suggested a CES show that highlights the stuff that we
No,
are
IRC's
recommending.
ignoring us.
Yeah, it's true. I don't know if we can recommend anything necessarily from CES simply because it's not possible to actually have it in hand to say, does it live up to the hype?
Right,
Or
that's-
whatever the market.
Patrick Norton was on Twitter, I think today or yesterday, saying that that's the thing he's going to miss about an in-person CES is that you can't actually like go hands-on and
Yeah.
make a determination about the stuff before you write about it. All we're basically going to be doing is referencing press releases and hoping they include pictures. So we can say, Dell announces blank. Lenovo announces blank. HP just announced this new game.
They'll give us a
Actually-
PDF. Screw them.
I threw one in the chat, and I don't know if you had a chance to go take a look at it, but they included not only product shots but a few lifestyle ones too, which I thought was like, oh, those are nice.
Somebody wanted to do... Wait, Josh is still... Hold on, here you get a full screen.
There he is.
You can screenshot that and then do horrible things to it.
I'm sure. Tribal tattoos, a la Tyson. I'm sure Soren could. You got to give him about like 40, 50 seconds, though.
Yeah,
Yep.
you have to give him a couple of minutes and then he will have it photoshopped for you.
Minutes.
Yeah.
It seems like it's instantaneous, but...
Sometimes it does. I'm deeply impressed.
Actually, I'm surprised if there isn't a website like Tyson My Face that
I don't think that's something
Upload
different. That's
picture.
something different.
Well, no, that's what
That
you
premium
want to look, see
content.
what you look like without an ear.
Yeah, what's that game you have? What is that in the back? Is that Camelot? What is
This is Conquest of Camelot, and then the sister game to it, which is Legend of Robin Hood. The same husband and wife
Which we don't
team
like to talk
did
about.
both of them. Yeah, see, this is from the critically acclaimed Conquest of Camelot designer, Christy Marks.
Do they? Oh, I'm hoping for recursive advertising here. Does the other one say it was from the creator of?
Oh, I love that because you can tell which one came out after, and then they reference the old one. And
Yep.
Yeah, wouldn't that be great? I should actually put my camera up here. Hold on. So this is
First time tonight.
Conquests of Camelot.
Oh, I can't see it around
Search
that
of the
tree.
Grail.
Yes, you can.
That tree is 10 feet tall.
This is a very old.
The closer it gets, the smaller it gets.
Oh my gosh, it's Sierra.
It's Sierra.
Yeah.
Here
Oh
comes-
no, this was one of the, back when Sierra made good stuff.
Nice inner box, and then you have
Oh, Sauron gave him a tramp stamp.
the book, which you don't actually need. I don't remember what the deal is. They didn't put copy protection on it, but you kind of need the book to know what you're doing unless you had a guide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then this comes with the original 5 1/4 inch floppies, which have that nice picture on them.
Oh, so nice.
And this also has
I love
the
that.
3.5.
The Tyvek sleeves. How they used the Tyvek sleeves. Those were great.
Oh, I love these sleeves too. Like this has a sort of a
Yeah.
fabric.
Yes,
it-
the Tyvek.
Oh, is that what that is? Okay. It has
Yeah, I think it's
usage
Tyvek.
and care instructions on the back. How
Yeah.
to properly handle your floppy disk.
This is a preview of the retro show, by the way.
Yeah, and it'll be
essentially.
better. I mean, I'm thinking like multi-camera, so I could like have a camera like
Yes.
overhead or whatever. So you
Yeah,
go,
I was gonna do
inside
the
the
same
box is this stuff instead of like holding it forward awkwardly.
Yeah,
just
that's
waiting for the
ridiculous.
camera to
You need to have an
focus.
overhead. Yep.
So
Yeah, you got to pull something out that came with a printed cloth map, though.
I don't
One
have
of the
that
old
to hand.
Ultimas or something.
Yep, I have Ultima,
Ultima.
6, and I have the cloth map.
Avatar?
Yes, and in fact, I actually have the stone. It's harder to find. that
Oh,
one with the
yeah, I
map
remember
and the
that.
stone.
Yeah.
This one doesn't have a cloth map, but it does have a large map.
Oh, that's right. I found something when I was cleaning.
Very nice. It would be perfect to go for you to cut away to your overhead view right now.
Exactly. I need to just hang the brio from the ceiling.
Yeah.
I knew I had it around somewhere. It just took me forever to actually find where I had put this thing safely. I think at this point I can touch the pins. It's not going to matter that much.
Ooh.
Oh, it's a Cyrix. Cyrix? Did you say Cyrix or Cyrix? I always said Cyrix.
I've seen
Cyrix.
it. Yeah, I say
The
Cyrix. and then
686.
100
A
megahertz.
good 100 megahertz at either 3.3 or 3.5 volts. Didn't really care.
Whatever.
Just whenever you felt it.
I don't have a 686. I don't remember what I have from them. I think I have one of their 486s.
This was a huge upgrade. This made the Voodoo 2s like really run well.
Now the 686 was their answer to the Pentium, right? Like
Yes.
when
It's
they
not a
made-
586. It's a
Right.
686.
Right. I think 586 is what companies were coming out with when they knew that Intel was coming out with their replacement for the DX2. And Intel had done the DX4, which was actually only a clock tripled. I don't remember why they were called DX4s
Because they could.
instead of DX3. But that'd be interesting to test against like a AMD DX4 100 or I don't know, like an early K6. But wasn't Doom? Was it Quake? I think it was Quake. Quake basically because it was they used a Pentium optimized compiler that the Cyrix chip was destroyed in benchmarks and magazines, so it kind of died off.
And the original Half-Life had some complaints about non-Intel architecture as well.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Because you can win the game that way, too. You can just have the compiler optimized. And I think id they embraced the Intel compilers, and so you needed an Intel system to run their games faster.
Hey, some of that stuff still happens even today. I think about the Cyberpunk 2077 compiler optimization, or it actually was, I think, AMD self-owned on this one. Because
Right,
they-
because it was looking for a bulldozer and
Yeah.
saying, ignore SMT.
Yeah. There was, I think, it wasn't necessarily their fault. I mean, it was a combination of errors, but I believe it was something along the lines of AMD put out some demo code about how to utilize certain aspects of their CPUs, and their demonstration code had some particular defaults, and it was set to an old CPU. It may have been Bulldozer, it may have been something to do with GPUs, it may have been a CPU thing. No, what it was, I think what it was it limited the number of symmetric multi-threads that could be spawned to a certain limit, and obviously a lot of their modern CPUs could spawn or run much more, and it was sort of an artificial limit. But the example code that they put out there had, hey, this is when you want to set a limit, here's how you do it. And they incorporated the sample code directly into the game, and it just turned out to artificially limit performance to some degree. I mean, how many games really you can use that many cores? It really wasn't a big uplift, and it wasn't a big hit, but it was an issue. And things got a little bit better once maybe it was a patch. I think there was some people who'd figured it out and had come up with a binary fix, or at least a hexadecimal fix anyways. You can go in and patch the binary directly to fix this issue. So it is the days of compiler optimizations or de-optimizations are still with us. It still happens.
I just had to go to my drawer of retro processors, and I was wrong. And not only do I have a Cyrix 686,
Ooh.
and this is the PR166, 2.9 volt. But I also have an IBM branded one, which was made for them by...
Oh, ye gods!
I think IBM was actually their foundry for these, perhaps? I don't remember. But this is the PR233. This is a lot faster.
Oh, Brett's just showing off now. He's got the Mathco processor.
For the 68030.
Yeah. Ooh.
Talk about obscure. Which I believe was the 68882. Maybe that might be the right number of eights. I don't remember. I might be getting it wrong. Yeah, that's plugged into one of my Amigas.
Oh, of course. There's one of my Amigas.
I'll save that for the retro show.
Yeah. We should have a Mac show and a Amiga show. And...
Yeah, maybe. I don't want to show too much skin now, so we'll have to wait.
Yeah. I have a couple of Mac systems, but I literally have a Mac. Like I have a Macintosh Classic, and I have a Macintosh 2 Ci, I think it is. It's one of the later Macintosh 2s.
I have one of the last black Macs with the upside-down Apple with a CPU daughter board in it, that third-party CPU upgrade in it, as well as upgraded RAM. Might have even had to solder a wire in that one.
You talking about a notebook?
Yeah, big desktop.
I forgot.
Started out G3. I was G3 Wall Street code Mac. Yeah, I kept that for a really long time. That was one of the ones that had the levers on the front that you could eject components from either side. It had you could put dual batteries in it, or you could put in a floppy drive or a CD-ROM in one side. It would fit in one side or another. I still have it someplace.
Back when computers
Very
actually,
retro.
notebook computers were portable and had all the desktop connectivity.
Pretty much.
Whereas
Including a
now
built-in modem.
everything's just Wi-Fi and 2 USB-C ports now. I
Yeah,
can't wait.
two.
I can't wait to write up a bunch of CES news on ultra slim MacBook Air clone laptops with 2 USB-C ports.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
it's gonna happen. Hey, you're keeping up on all the Soren remakes of Josh's face, looking like he spent a little time in prison. I mean, not that he hasn't. I mean, of course he has. But I mean, with the face tattoos.
Let me see, because I'm.
We've made a discovery.
Oh, we have.
Yeah.
Let me bring that up here.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to bring up the whole thing.
You may
but,
summon something.
Yeah, I kind of.
Yeah.
What's the
On that
worst that could
last
happen?
one.
Look.
Well, it's going to be Doom. It's Doom Eternal all over again.
It's our public Discord channel. What's the worst that could happen if I just?
Yeah.
You didn't want to go
Have
there
you
yesterday.
been there?
No.
A more wretched hive of villainy.
Scum and villainy you've never
Okay,
seen.
there's one.
Yep, it's relatively tame. This is where we're getting into yeah, he was definitely part of a club. Yeah, that's his cat, I think.
Hey, there's a nostalgia nerd video I was remembering. Killed Off by Quick. It's a great video. Watch that. If you
Go
want to
for the
read
second one, it's larger.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
third
was
one.
getting into it.
Okay,
There
this
you
is
go.
this is more into that like why what was he thinking territory of the Tyson.
Yeah, well, go
tattoos.
down. It gets bigger.
Oh, does
It's
it? Oh, okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. I like this. 'cause
Suspicious, isn't it?
It's right along his
It
mouth
fits.
there. It does.
I know he really did it.
Points
he's
to the
got
eyes.
the lip tattoos. It's right in his eyes. He put some thought into this one.
Hmm.
You can tell once we gave him more than half a minute, it kept getting better.
Okay. I want to. Let's see. It's not even midnight yet. This is great.
I know. You're welcome.
I've been going to bed at about midnight, so this works. And then I'll edit it tomorrow. And then we'll have a show
Hooray!
probably by tomorrow night, because this is a shorter one
Yes.
to edit. It's only an hour and 20 minutes. Oh, it's good. Oh, wait. I got to put it in an ad, though. But it's okay. It's ExpressVPN.
Oh.
One of the things I struggle with is like, oh, I've got to put like visuals here. And of course, they don't just send you some media package unless we could
don't.
ask for one. There's some of these companies, it's like, do you have a video? Do you have like official
Anything?
imagery that you want people to show on their video?
No. Sometimes they've got a video on their site, and you can
Right,
sort
and
of
that's
grab
easy
that.
because then you can just grab it. But yeah, ExpressVPN absolutely has videos, so I will just.
Oh yes.
But I think they do a lot of
Just
stuff.
use
where
your
it's
Adobe
personal.
stock subscription and put something up. Yeah.
Yeah, Brett, you should really record a video. Because I'm thinking of like Seth Everman and other people like Cinemassacre when they do their ExpressVPN, it's them doing it in like a character or wearing a silly outfit or something. You could put on a smoking
It's
jacket.
not a bad idea.
Put on a smoking jacket, get a pipe, and talk about ExpressVPN for about a minute or two.
And if you
I
could blow
actually
bubbles out of the
legitimately-
pipe.
I've legitimately had a positive experience with ExpressVPN so far.
There you
No
go.
lie.
Yeah,
Totally
yeah.
true.
everybody uses it.
And this was through somebody else that asked me at the time. It was like a month or so ago. Somebody said they were actually traveling outside the country, couldn't pick up their mail, and I said, "Try this, ExpressVPN. Worked great."
Yeah, if you're traveling around and you're like tied to a TV series, I know a lot of people use it just for changing your location. They could care less. They couldn't
Yeah.
care less about security, and they only care about changing the location. But it's for both.
It is.
Okay. Well, I'm going to take the stream down. Thank you, everybody, for watching.
Hey,
Cheers.
thanks.
Appreciate it.
Josh says thank you too.
Yes. What am I doing? Find the other tab. Oh, it's this computer. Wrong computer.
You have so many.
Yeah, I have two in front of me. Okay, end stream.
Bing.